You're winning. You're winning. You're winning. You're winning. All right, guys. Do you see these handsome fellas that I have on this promo flyer for you? Well, they are here. Yes, they are. They are here to talk about high impact mentorship. You know, everybody says, oh, you need to get a mentor, you need to network, but what does that really look like when it's going to make a difference in your life? Well, I have some guys here tonight that they're really going to share the secrets of high impact mentorship. And without further ado, hello, Terence.
Hello. Thank you again for having me back. How are you doing?
My pleasure. What have you been doing since you've last been here?
Oh, just a little bit of everything. We have our summer camp going. So we had 40 youngsters, 9 to 1 every day, taking them around the city and teaching them the do's and don'ts and how to be successful.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, I'm going to put you to work because you are coming on today right after Dr. Viviana from Married at First Sight. She just had a book release. In her book is called The Four Intimacy Styles. I want to know, what are you teaching your guys about intimacy and how to be intimate? And I know that's not your lane at all. So that is why I'm warning you ahead of time. So put your thinking hat on, my friend.
Oh,
Fair enough?
yes. For me, it's always, well, the answer is generally always the same. For us, what we're teaching them is love. And we're teaching them that they're going to come someplace, they're going to feel love, they're going to know what it looks like when somebody cares about their day, somebody cares about who they are, what they want to do, what they've done. And to me, that's the beginning of intimacy, which is knowing yourself and knowing that you're valued and valuable. And once you can internalize that, intimacy becomes something that's the foundation to build that intimacy on. So you can learn the language and it makes sense. But if you don't have the foundation, it's going to be harder. I'm not going to say it's impossible. It's just going to be harder. So what we're doing is we're doing building blocks. We build the foundation. We give them that self-love, that self-confidence so that they can go on and learn all of these other skills and put them in place right on top of all the things we taught.
Well, that's fair enough. I'm going to check to see how well you implement that and how well your mentees have been able to execute your program, because not only are the guys you brought with you today, they're mentors, but they've been through your program. So let's bring them up here and you can help me introduce these guys. Hello, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Lamar, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Excited to be here with you. Thank you.
Excellent. So, Terrence, tell us a little bit about the gentleman that you have here and how and when they went through the program and what are they doing now?
So these two, I call them young men, but that's just because I'm senior, not because they're older. They've been with the program for over 10 years. Both of them have been with Instructor Moore longer than they've been with me. They've been through the basics, the concept of ABC. They've used it in their lives. They've been successful, and they've come back and give back. Lamar Slater is an honors graduate from Morehouse College. He's also our director of education, so he handles all of our tutoring and scheduling and our educational programs. He's also works as a tutor around the city, a very valuable tutor around the city, and works for the college at one of their STEM programs, and highly sought after, I should say. Mr. Nunez is one of our deputy district attorneys here in San Diego and also president of the National Latino Police Officers Association. So both of them have been through the program and used the tools that they've learned at ABC to be successful and to give back to others. Both of them give of their time and energy more than anyone could ever expect because they're both really busy. They have busy schedules, but they always make time to come back and speak to the youth that are going through it now to tell them, hey, I've been there. So whatever it is you're talking about, I can relate to you. And that love that we're talking about, they show it every day in their day-to-day lives and how they interact with the kids every day here.
So what does ABC stand for exactly?
Anybody Can Youth Foundation. So it used to be Any Boy Can when Archie
Okay.
Moore started it, but
Yeah.
we've changed that since we've started incorporating young ladies into the group, and that's not new. We're talking 15, 20 years ago. So it became Anybody Can instead of Any Boy Can.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm going to put you gentlemen on the spot here. All right, Lamar, what do you have to share about the program? I understand that you're working hard every day as the director of education there and out in the community. What do you have to say or add to what Terrence shared?
Well, what I love about ABC is the fact that uh, it has a feeling of like a family. And whether we have 50 kids in the room or 5 kids in the room, the message of ABC and the spirit of what we share with that group is the same every time. And that's a message of step out in life with your best foot forward, without cowardice, but with courage and dignity. And you can then stand on those principles that we teach, the simple do's and don'ts, so that you can go on and achieve in academics. If you want to study in college or if you want to study at fifth grade level, whatever you want to achieve, ABC has a has a practical approach to help you get that done. And that's one of the things I love about ABC.
That's awesome. Now, Martin, you went through the program. What is it that you learned from the program that allowed you to reach the heights that you have?
Well, first, I want to thank you for having me and giving ABC a platform to really reach out to the community and allow us to share our message. For me personally, the vehicle to get me into the program was boxing. I grew up a very troubled youth. My parents felt that putting me in the boxing program would allow me to learn um, character development skills. And initially, I thought I would be champion of the world as a boxer. But little did I know that the skills I was learning inside of the boxing ring, being coached by Billy Moore, little did I know that those exact same skills were going to be the foundation of my success. After having dropped out of high school, I had no other place to go. So I would go back to the gym. And as I pierced those punching bags every day, I would re strategize and refocus and recalibrate. And I ended up going back to school. I was working as a janitor. I ended up going into law enforcement, and I just was able to work my way up until I got to law school and became a prosecutor. But the building blocks all go back to learning resilience, grit, overcoming adversity, and knowing that I can accomplish anything if I do it for the right reasons, coming from a place of love and coming from a place of wanting to help someone. And I needed to help because ABC showed me what can happen when someone gives you a hand, even when you're down and out.
Wow. You don't necessarily know this about me, but I love stories where someone has come from a place that is very difficult and then they're now the person in power. And that's what has happened to you. You said that you came from a background of challenge. I'm not sure what that challenge looked like. Was it poverty? Was it crime? Was it physical abuse or anything? What did that look like?
So it was the typical neighborhood story of every inner city across America, the social dynamics of an underserved segment of society. That's where ABC lives, right in the heart of where this impact is needed. We're talking about a community that deals with poverty, gang violence, drug violence, and everything related to growing up in the inner city. I grew up around this environment all through my youth. I was arrested myself at a very young age. I
Mm-hmm.
experienced incarceration. I experienced death with my friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that the youth in our community is still dealing with today. I
Mm-hmm.
was lucky that I had someone like my parents who I could emulate, someone like Coach Billy Moore who could show me the way. And even when I was wrong, even when, I mean, I grew up in this program since I was about 10 years old. I was
Okay.
arrested at 13. I dropped out of high school at 17. I didn't finish high school until I was almost 20. But the one thing that always remained consistent, regardless of my failures and the lack of my personal development, it was ABC. It was that safe haven that allowed me to go back and re-strategize. And I think that's where I learned about adversity and overcoming challenges. And I think for that reason, it's so important that those of us who do learn from our mistakes, we go back and we pay it forward.
You know what? There's always a point in the show where I have to go back and rewind something that someone said. I will be rewatching what you just said because you talked about how your mistakes were made and that ABC was always there for you. So it's like a point of being, they were your foundation.
Absolutely.
It wasn't about perfection. And you did such a great job at explaining that. And I think that's like the secret to the sauce.
Yes.
Quite
Absolutely.
a. Mm-hmm. Terrence, how are you still reaching um, gentlemen like Martin? Because, he
Yeah.
said the boxing was it for him.
Well, and that's the draw. As instructor Mar always says, every kid wants to be a champion. They come in, they see the boxing, they hear the gloves hitting the bags, and
Uh-huh.
that's they'll bring them in. We have families, boys and girls, that come in, and that draws them in. The thing, like Martine said, is what keeps them is the fact that it's unconditional, meaning we're going to love on you whether or not you're doing right all the time or you're doing wrong all the time. One of our things is we're going to show you what it looks like. We're going to show you what it looks like to make the right choices to be successful. Because unfortunately, all of our kids don't have that example. They don't know what it looks like. Sometimes we're expecting them to do things that they don't know what it looks like. So one of our tenets of getting them to learn these things is we're going to show you. We're going to show you what it looks like to get back up after you fail. We're going to show you how to make good decisions. And if you make bad decisions, we're not going to toss you aside. As Instructor Moore always says, we're not tossing anybody away. I don't care what you do. You can come back here and we'll fix it. We'll talk to you about it. We'll make sure you don't do it again. But we're family. And as a family, you're not always happy with your family, but they're always family.
That is an extremely good lesson to learn. Lamar, what are you doing to hook the kids in these days? I mean, I know they're hitting the bag, but what else is going on in the facility to get everybody revved up?
Oh yeah. Well, right now we have a fantastic, I mean, utterly amazing summer program that's going on, and this is a time where during the summer break, um, one of our teachers, she was a former teacher of the year, she along with uh, Instructor Moore's wife, came together and said, "Let's do something that's going to support the academic enrichment of our kids in the summer. Let's bridge the gap so that they don't have that learning loss that's so common in the summertime." And so they sat down and formulated a program, and I was fortunate to be there in those initial stages and to see where it is today is really phenomenal. I tip my hat to those ladies, the work that they put in. I tip my hat to Brother Shigg and Instructor Moore and Miss Malvo and her entire team that keeps that program going strong, and it's coming up to its second iteration for this past summer of 2022. But to answer your question, we bring the kids in, we have entertaining classes, we have dynamic speakers, we have things that challenge their mind, like chess workshops, We have artistic um, expression where we have artists come in. This year, the youngsters actually put on and learned a phenomenal play. And
Hmm.
so there's just so many ways that we can reach the kids. I want to back up and point out that although we do have that authentic feel of a gym, you hear the bags, you hear the gloves hitting the bags, and you hear the buzzer going off. You also have to come through our library in order to get to the gym area. And so it sets the
Mm.
tone that education is important to us. And they come through, they see these shelves filled with books. We say these books are for you to check out on the honor system. You're welcome to each and every one of them. And then just one other thing that I'd like to add, I like what both Martine and Brother Shigg have said. But one other thing that I can add to about ABC is we're that net that catches those ones that before they fall back into the sea. And that's part of what that consistency is about, just in a word picture for you there.
Nice. So, Martin, Terrence said everybody wants to feel like a champion, but you're a prosecutor.
Mhm.
I'm afraid of you making me feel like a champion. What do you got going on over there?
Well, I'm honestly blessed to be in a position where I get to stand up for the community because we're already dealing with the marginalized community. We're dealing with with a very vulnerable population, which are the minorities in our community. There are already enough issues, social dynamics that they have to overcome. And having to deal with the law is another area that is very prevalent to youth in our community. And the best thing that ABC does is we work a lot on gang prevention and gang
Mhm.
intervention. We catch those kids and give them something to strive for before the local gangs do. And as a prosecutor, I stand up and I work for the people. I work for the community. And I'm just blessed that I come from the same community that I get to serve every day. I'm currently in the Family Protection Unit. I prosecute child abuse, domestic violence, and elder abuse. I'm just coming
Oh,
fresh out of a jury trial today where I'm dealing with vulnerable victims from this community. And it's very actually similar to boxing. And being in trial, being able to overcome that adversity that comes with the legal challenges, that goes back to my foundation as a boxer in the ring. And one thing that ABC is really good at is also showing our students that there are other career opportunities that they might not know about. For myself, growing up in the inner city, I thought that I'd be a painter, a construction worker, or work in landscape. I had no dreams or goals to go to college, especially not law school, especially after having dropped out of high school. But the guidance and mentorship that ABC offered made me believe that not only could I be a champion in the gym, but I could be a champion in life. And
mhm.
currently, ABC is leading the way in the area of urban planning. Just recently, the pandemic really highlighted how underserved our communities really are in the inner city. And we know that firsthand because the youth were affected by being out, stuck at home, and not having access or resources similar to better served communities. So one of our partners at ABC, her name is Jessica Ceja, who was getting her master's in regional planning. She
Mhm.
started the first urban planning youth council in Southern California, where we
Mhm.
have students in our communities in the gym who are now learning about being involved in the city planning process so they can provide some input in how to shape their own community. That's an example of how ABC builds champions outside of the ring as well. And that's by providing opportunities and learning about different careers.
Mm. That is lovely. Terrence, I'm curious, do you guys have a mentorship program
Yeah.
to where, like, if I wanted to learn what a prosecutor does every day, or if I wanted to learn what a health administrator does every day, do you have those kind of connections made?
Yes, so we have those types of connections with either business leaders or community leaders, or just people that we communicate with on a regular basis. One of our board members is a doctor. We have one of our former students who's a med student. We have another one who is a financial planner and knows people who own restaurants in the community. So one of the things that we are, I'd say, expanding on, it's something that we've always done, which is if someone's interested in something, we'll find somebody that'll talk to them about it. We have the police chief of San Diego will come out all the time and answer questions from our kids just because. And some of them want to be police officers. We have members of law enforcement. So yes, we do that. One of the things that we are looking for is we are looking for future funding so that we can expand it and formalize it, because we want that to be something that it's a plug and play, meaning in every location, wherever we go throughout the United States, we want to be able to do that and facilitate those connections. Although right now we're in San Diego, we have locations in Jackson, Mississippi that'll be opening up, and we're looking at other locations around the country. So our future funding will be geared towards expanding that mentorship program.
That is really impressive. I think something's going on with your mic, Terence, and so I'm going to throw this question to Lamar. Lamar, can you? That's okay. Lamar, can you tell me exactly how many locations there are?
Well, we have we're headquartered, of course, in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember that ABC's been around for over 50 years, and
Yeah.
so recently we opened up our Liberty Station location as well. But I like to always go back to there are 19 students in Haiti that Instructor Moore has taught and who still carry on ABC there. We're excited to be back in Jackson, Mississippi, I believe in September, with the foundation of another ABC location there in Jackson. And there's some synergy going on with another similar organization in St. Louis, where the folks are like-minded. They have the same interest in supporting young people, and so there's partnerships and there's collaborations that are happening that are really really mind-blowing for me, just to be able to sit back and look at all that's happened with ABC.
That's amazing. So, I'm a global kind of girl, and not you guys are taking this nationwide, but would you like to take it worldwide?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a
Yes.
doubt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's something that's needed in every community. In every community, there is a hierarchy. There are poverty-stricken areas. There are people with less resources and less choices. Let's face it, and less opportunities. So ABC is one of those, as Lamar said, is one of those organizations that fills that gap. Meaning, if you're falling through the net and you don't have the resources, come to us. We'll find the resources for you, and we'll point you in the right direction. We have no problem doing that, and we don't care who you are. We'll help you get to where you want to go.
That is awesome. Absolutely amazing. Everybody can, used to be every boy can. So you work on the boxing, right? You get them,
Yes,
you hooked in with the boxing. Are you hooking the girls in with the boxing?
absolutely. One of our star alumni who couldn't be here on this one, but I wanted to get her here, is Lizette Corrales, who is a master's student in mechanical engineering, just graduated with honors from UC Berkeley. I think she held 3 belts before she left, came to ABC from ballet class and decided to do boxing. So that's one of our highlights. Also, Isabel Garcia, who is graduated from UCSD with honors and does murals all over the city of San Diego. So we have girls that are just as powerful as our boys.
I love that. Why don't I have pictures of these murals, Terrence?
Oh, I got you. I'll get them because I have them. I mean, this
I
picture
mean,
here on my shoulder,
yeah,
my black swan. Isabel did that for me
that is gorgeous.
and did
That
that freehand.
you got some talent there,
Yes.
hanging out at ABC. So, obviously Lamar and Martin, they are true success stories, right?
Yes.
And Lamar, what was your background? Where did you, I know Martin came from basically the streets, basically. What was going on in your life before you became the director?
I'd like to say I've been part of ABC all my life. I was
Okay.
fortunate to grow up in the same church, and my mother was kind enough and had enough foresight to bring me down to the boxing gym when I was around 8 years old. So I got a
Hmm.
chance to learn from Archie Moore himself, from instructor Billy Moore himself, and all these other men and these other champions that gave me the basic foundation of the things that you should and should not do in life. And so I like to think that that foundation had a lot to do with me um, finishing school with good grades. I was able to be a valedictorian, honors graduate, and really take the stuff I learned in the gym with me 3,000 miles away to Atlanta, where I studied at Morehouse College. And I like to say I came back to give back. Um, one of the one of the joys that I have as being part of ABC is to see those that have also come alongside and that are doing the work to make a difference, like my brother Martin, to see him installed as the president of the National Latino Police Officers Organization, the largest in the state, and to actually be in UC Berkeley to see Lizette receive her engineering degree in mechanical engineering alongside instructor Moore. And just every day when I see Brother Shigg in the gym, he's always making a difference and he's always on point. And so these kind of things just keep me inspired. They keep me humble and try to keep me, pushing to do more because there's so much more that I think we all can do. And it starts with self. I like to always try to challenge myself to do a little bit more each day to make a better difference.
There's more than physical power in just one punch. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So, Martin, I want to travel back to your story just a little bit. What specifically gave you the confidence to become a prosecuting attorney? Because when you look at your story, and I listened to just the short bit you shared, nowhere in there do I see a person that would start dreaming, I want to be a prosecuting attorney. When did that happen?
Well, it really happened when I was graduating from San Diego State University. I was
Mhm.
working at a local police department and I was injured on duty. I was assisting in making an arrest. I was stopping someone from taking advantage of a young freshman who was intoxicated, and I was injured in that process. And I was out. I was out on light duty, and I was trying to think about my future. Um, and going back to my foundation at ABC about always re-strategizing, always having foresight and thinking about the next move, and just always being resilient. I figured when I come back, I'm going to do more. I'm not going to come back to do the same thing I was doing before. I'm going to take the time to re-strategize. And
Mhm.
my strategy was to go to law school. I had mentors along the way. I have a good friend. His name is Agustin Peña, who grew up in my community. He has a very similar story to mine. And he's the one who paved the way for me when I realized there was someone else who looked like me, who came from my community and was showing me the way. Then I knew that it was meant to be. And
Mm.
that's what I love about my story is that it took someone showing me that it could be done so that I could turn around and show someone else that they too could do it.
So, are you actively showing kids a pathway forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been involved in mentoring students for a long time. I've mentored over 200 students. I'm also a professor at a law school. I'm also a professor at the University of Maryland. I teach online. I'm also very involved in the community. And all that is for one purpose, and that's to pay it forward the same way that ABC has helped me.
Do you have time to sleep? That's a lot.
Just a few hours. I usually aim for 4 hours.
One thing
So,
I just
go
wanted
ahead,
to
Terrence.
to jump in, one of the things Martine said, which is I think very powerful, is he had someone that looked like him to pave the way. And that is one of the dynamic things that I think that we do here at ABC is a lot of times our kids honestly don't have someone that looks like them that is that example for them. I'm not saying it only has to be, but I want them to have an example that looks like them at least. I don't want them to have to imagine it. They can look at it. They can talk to us. They can see us every day and see somebody that looked like them, that came from where they came from and has been successful, to know that they can do this too. That it's not an easy thing. It's not meant to be, but it's worth it and it's possible. And that is the type of thing that one of the things that we do is the ABC concept. And the ABC concept is something that's a whole different level that all of our students get, and sometimes the parents, if they're in the class, they end up in the ring doing it too. And it's one of those things where it teaches them critical thinking. It's, if you want to be something, then this is the steps that you need to take to do it. And we actually get them to think about, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And if you don't know, that's okay. But we're going to ask you this question, so start thinking about it, because that's not the last time somebody's going to ask you, what do you want to be? And then at some point, they come up with an idea, be it a janitor, a doctor. All jobs are valuable, but if you value yourself, then you can be valuable in the job. And our idea and our concept and what ABC does is it instills that critical thinking to go, okay, if I want to do something, these are the steps that I need to take. And if I need help with it, these are the people that I can ask, and they'll show me what I need to know. And they're not going to do it for me, but they'll show me what I need to do. And that's critical.
That's fair. I like it. Lamar, we talk a lot about masculinity on this show, a ton. I have a whole campaign. It's called the Global Positive Masculinity Campaign. And that campaign has been created so that we can be able to really heal the hearts of men and help them understand their intrinsic value. Your program was initially created for boys. How is it that you are building value in the hearts of these young people?
It's an excellent question, and I think it's something that's so valuable. I'm excited to hear about and learn more about what your campaign is, because um, in society today, there's such a confusion and a contradiction when it comes to masculinity. Men are supposed to be strong but not cry. They're supposed to be uh, loud but not listen. And so we know that, or at least in my opinion, a lot of strong men and a lot of what has to do with masculinity really revolves around um, showing love,
Mm-hmm.
showing compassion,
Mm-hmm.
um, being supportive. We have brothers that will get together in a room and aren't afraid to let a tear drop from their face, because
Mm,
it's not about, you know, looking tough or macho all the time. It's about sharing what's really in your heart, what's going on with you that day. And so we've developed that, and I think it's been something that's been improved on, and that's continuing to um, to remain, even though I like to think in society today, masculinity is something that's somewhat under attack. There's a concept out there that says that masculinity is toxic, and to a degree, I understand where they're coming from. But at the same time, we try to teach our young men to be strong means you have to have an open heart, and you have to show compassion, show love, show kindness, and just treat other people how you want to be treated. To sum it all up.
mm. That is so special. If you notice, my internal engineer actually showed a video that popped up for just a moment, kind of I uploaded it and it popped up on its own. But based off of what you were saying, I want to show this, guys. I think it is amazing.
Oh my God!
Did you miss it? You should watch it again. I'm going to play. I'll try to play it again. Let's go.
Oh my God!
Now, that is absolutely so special to me. The father kisses the newborn baby, and the newborn baby jumps up and kisses his dad back. I find that to be fabulous, heart melting, worth seeing. And for me, it displays so many qualities of true masculinity. If we roll back to the 1950s, there is no image that you would see a dad confidently nurturing his son on his chest. And like that was the thing to do. And I point this out because he was confidently doing it. They're not showing the dad, oh my God, I don't know what to do with the baby. So they're not showing the dad being incompetent. And they're showing the dad being nurturing and compassionate. And they're showing the child responding. For me, so much love, so much compassion, so much masculinity is pouring from that video. I wish people believed that's what masculinity was.
Yes, so much. And I believe that that is what we do when I say the terms I think of when I see something like that are scaffolding and modeling. And modeling is the idea of showing them what it looks like, and scaffolding is rewarding the little close proximities that they do that are like that. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something everyone that walks into ABC will feel. From
Mm-hmm.
the first minute they come in to they greet instructor Moore with a fist bump, somebody's going to tell you how you're doing. Every adult that you see is you're going to give them acknowledge them with eye contact and a fist bump, and somebody's going to say how are you doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something we generally teach, but it's just the atmosphere here and just the strong men and women that are here. That's just natural. So kids expect it and kids respond to it, and kids do the same thing, what they've learned and what they've seen their friends do. It may be their first time in, but their friend who's been here for a while, he comes in, hello, coach, fist bump, how you doing? Eye contact. So now he knows, oh, I'm supposed to look him in the eye. Although he doesn't know what he's doing, now he's modeling it. So we're teaching that masculinity, that love, that self-confidence, just by the simple everyday things. As instructor Moore would say, it's very simple sometimes, but as long as you're consistent and genuine, I have to say and genuine, because it has to be genuine. Kids will know. It will impact them and it'll stick with them.
You know what? The reality is, and we don't want to believe this, culture is king. Okay. ABC has created a culture of belonging. Everybody wants to belong and everybody wants to be a champion. And that seems to be in the DNA of your organization. Now, Martin, what can you tell me about that DNA?
I think what's so unique to the ABC students is that they all come from similar backgrounds. They all come from similar communities, but they all have that one thing in common,
Mm-hmm.
and that's that they want something better, whatever that may be. And part of the mentoring that we do at ABC is long-term mentoring. I mean, for myself, it was years before it finally clicked. But that's because we're able to connect with our students almost like if they were family, and we're able to recognize what area in their life they need help in. For example, I work with a lot of the young men at ABC, And I'm able to recognize when someone is in need of emotional support. Sometimes they're going through spiritual growth.
Mm,
Maybe they're trying to learn more about financial growth. Sometimes it's just simple personal development. Sometimes it's the emotional intelligence aspect that we have to work on. But regardless, we recognize that as they grow, they're going to enter different phases in their life, and each phase is going to come with different challenges. And but we allow them to grow and make mistakes along the way. But because we have this cycle of mentor and mentees who
mhm.
grow and come back, we can all relate to those challenges. We have, I think Lamar and myself we've been around probably the longest, but we have some amazing leaders coming up through the program right now. I mean, I can think of a few who are in college right now, who started in the boxing program, and in a few years, they'll be replacing us and talking to you about their challenges and who else they've mentored.
You know what? I love this generational leadership. This, you know, Lamar saying, "I've been a part of this for life," you know, and it's turning over. Your program is doing the thing that I have expressed that is needed. Kids are vulnerable from 3 to 6. Okay, babies are made from 3 to 6, and children are recruited into nefarious activities from 3 to 6. That's just the fact. Um, People want a place to belong. People want to feel taken care of. Kids want to know that someone's got their back. And your program is doing all of that, Terrence. Can you talk to me just a little bit about the gentleman who created this program?
So the original creator was Archie Moore, the longtime light heavyweight champion of the world, who everyone says just had the foreknowledge and had the wisdom to know that these problems that we're having still today, when they were going on then, were going to continue unless we did something. The drugs, the gangs, the violence, all those things weren't going away. And so we needed to do something. So he created ABC based on that and created the concept that I was telling you about based on that, knowing that, okay, if we don't do anything, and he met with 3 sitting presidents and told them this very thing. They didn't do anything. So he took it upon himself, adopted San Diego as his home many years ago, and started ABC here. When
Mm-hmm.
he passed away in 1998, it kind of went away for a while. And then his son, Billy Moore, picked up the mantle and restarted ABC and started right where he left off because, again, same problems: drugs, gangs, violence. And they are in this area in particular more than other areas. They're in our communities more than other areas. And so it's a personal thing for Instructor Moore as well as for each one of us to make sure that we do everything that we can to make sure that all of our students know that anybody can come from where we came from and be whatever they want to be. And we're going to show them, we're going to give them the resources, and we're going to help them any way that we can.
All right, you heard the word. Um, Biden, Trump, Kamala, Pence, all you guys, all you political leaders, anybody has the roadmap. They have the program. Somebody reach out there, call them. We need this in every city in the nation because gun violence is not stopping.
No.
You know, we can't go anywhere in America and feel safe. We can't go to school. We can't go to the grocery store. We can't go to church. We can't go to the movie theater. We can't go to concerts. We can't go anywhere without being, concerned that there's going to be, a shootout. Okay. This is happening in every area from Walmart to the ballpark. People are getting shot. And really, it's the wound isn't coming from the heart. The bullet is starting in the heart. People don't feel valued. And anytime people don't feel valued, they don't value others. Um, we are a anti-belonging culture right now, and we got to help people feel like they belong. We have to help people feel like they belong. ABC is doing it. They've been doing it for how many years, guys?
Been over 60 years, so about 65.
Wow, about 65. And I'm absolutely serious. Even the Forward Party, as I understand it, there's a new Forward Party. So what I really don't care what party. I'm going to make myself a solo here. I really don't care what party you belong to, Republicans, Democrats, Forward Party, conservative, liberal. I don't care. Contact ABC. They have the program. They've been doing it for 60 years and they're very successful. Okay. They're grabbing kids that would be on the street doing something nefarious and they're changing their hearts and they're changing their minds. They're teaching them critical thinking skills and they're giving them a way forward. So let's support this organization, give them the funding that they need so that they can help make the changes that we as a country need. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. But I just want us to do better. And the fact that we are Americans, I know we can. I know we can. What sense does it make for us to be able to put a person on the moon if we can't keep the people on Earth alive?
Yes, yes. And
Now,
that's something that, as we struggle as a society to belong and to figure out the answer, it to me, like you said, it's simple. If you know something works, then let's do that until you come up with something else. And ABC was founded based on the whole concept of grabbing those kids that everybody else may not think is worth it or may not have fit into another pro. We'll take whatever it is and we will help. And we'll help because that's what we do. And I could care less what party or who gets credit for it. And that's just the way ABC has always been.
well, the fact of the matter is, um, everybody's going to have a hand in the success.
Yes.
You know, everybody's going to have to feel like it's my fault we won. Great.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yes, let's all win together. Let's all be able to go to school without doing gun drills. Let's do that together. Let's be able to have popcorn without, feeling like we're going to get popped with a gun.
Yes.
Let's do that. And let's help people feel valued. There's a lot of loneliness going on. Um, Martin, were you lonely when you
Yeah,
came to them?
I think more so my journey was very lonely. Studying, going to law school, studying for the bar exam, pursuing my career goals. It was a very lonely process. But boxing is very lonely as well.
Mhm,
Boxing is not necessarily a team sport. You confront your opponent on your own, and life is that way. You face life challenges,
mhm,
and our students are used to doing that on their own. But ABC has actually been ahead of its time
mhm,
because initially when I joined ABC, it seemed to me that it was more of an inner city program because I felt that the issues I was experiencing in my community were only affecting people in my community. But
mhm.
now we're at a place in society where violence is prevalent everywhere. Loneliness, the lack of love, that's prevalent in a lot of places. And ABC is the answer, not just for the inner city youth, but this is true for the current climate that we're dealing with. We've now opened up our second gym in Liberty Station, which is out in Point Loma. That's open to the community. That's open to anyone. That's
Mhm.
open to not just students and youth, but to professionals who want to come and be a part of something great and need a place to come and feel that they can also give back. we provide those opportunities, not just for students, but to the community collectively.
So it is a difference between being alone and lonely. Earlier in the program, Terrence says that everyone wants to be a champion. When you're punching that bag, you might be doing it alone, but you're not lonely. It seems to me that you have the wind of uh, everybody can behind you. You know, um, you still feel the inner cheer from the crowd. You still feel the culture and the climate of ABC supporting you. And I think that's the difference. When you took your bar exam, you were alone but not lonely. When a champion is out there boxing, they're alone but not lonely. Children and people in general need to feel the wind beneath their wings.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100%. And that's what ABC really does. We say it's a family, but we really mean that as a family. And it takes the families a while to understand we mean that, because we'll have grandparents, aunts, uncles come and sit and watch the class. We'll get them a chair. You're welcome to be here anytime. As well as we'll have families come and drop the kids off as young as 7 years old, because they know that we're going to take care of them here because we're family. And they're expected to take care of each other just like we take care of them. So if they see somebody doing something, don't come and get me. Why didn't you tell them, or why didn't you pick it up? That's the first question I'm going to ask you. Then we'll go and deal with it. But it really is a family atmosphere. And when you go into the ring, you're alone in that ring, but all of the work, and that's the hard work that people don't see, that you did to get in that ring, and all the teamwork that it took to get you to that ring. Because as well as a family, we're a team, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody plays a part, from the guy that gives you the mitts to the guy that makes sure the room's clean so that you can have a space to hit the bag, to the person that makes sure the books are there in the library, or vacuums the floor, cleans the toilets. All of us are a team, and everybody plays a part. And we really emphasize that and want our youth to know it's just not, you don't just come in here and hit the bag and leave. No, you come in here and this is your house. You can put your stuff down. You don't have to worry about anybody taking it. You can clean up just like anybody else. If something's dirty, don't come tell me it's dirty. Clean it up. And then tell me, and then I'll make sure that whoever did it takes care of it. But this is your house too. And we really emphasize that, and we mean it. And that's the way, that's just the culture that was created way before I got here, as Lamar would say. And that's the culture that we will continue forever with ABC.
Okay, that's awesome. How can they support you? How can they give you dollars?
So ABC is up and running on social media. We also have PayPal, but everything, if you go to our website at abcyouthfoundation.org, that is ABC Youth Foundation, all one word, common spelling.org. You can do donations directly through there. And we are just as old fashioned as anybody else. We'll take a check, and you can find our address on that website, and you can mail it to us. Or you're welcome to come by here anytime, stop in, join a class, and you can give us green money just as well as paper money. We'll take it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And for those who don't have dollars to spare, if you have time to spare, that would be fabulous as well. You know, this show airs on some professional platforms, including LinkedIn. There are thousands of professionals out there. Contact Terrence over at ABC and volunteer. Are you doing virtual mentorship at all? Because sometimes people are not in the location. Lamar, do you have that program set up? How does that work?
We do. We and definitely I like what you said, because we always love volunteers at ABC. Whether you have time, talent, or treasure, whatever you can give is so important. And since the pandemic, we've really ramped up our Zoom tutoring. We help kids online, and so we have a beautiful learning center and library that's stocked with laptop computers. So if someone wants to set up a Zoom and connect with some of our young people, we can facilitate that. If someone wants to come down and be a part of the the day-to-day interaction, we welcome that as well.
Awesome. Listen, I'm going to put this out there. Zoom in. That's what I'm going to call it. Zoom in. Contact Terence, Lamar, and Martin, and Zoom in and just be a professional that tells the folks over at ABC about what you do, because sometimes there are jobs out there and you just have no idea that that is the job for you, because you know what you do is not high profile. There are so many cool things that people do that are not high profile. I'll tell you later on in September, I believe I'm going to interview a scientist. Do you know what she does with her science? She makes boozy ice cream. Get out of town. Who knew? Who knew? But that kind of stuff is a lot of fun. Martin, give us a bit of advice before you get out of here.
I think, and what I deal with and what I've experienced, I think that you always have to come from a place of love. I think we need to spread more love into the world. I deal with a lot of heartbreak. I deal with a lot of people who have never experienced love, so don't know how to give love. So I love that we started off on that topic, because that really is the core of what ABC does. And we teach how to love, especially in a place where a lot of people don't know what that feels like. And I think with that, we are changing the cycle within our community.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Lamar, what are your parting words?
I just want to say, keep the faith. We all know the right things, those things that we should and should not do, and always err on the side of doing the right thing, because that's the best way to show that you love yourself. And if you can love yourself, you can love others, and that's going to make the world a much better place.
Awesome sauce. Terrence, what are your parting words?
Well, my parting words is, despite what you may see on TV and what people tell you about where we're going as a society and where future is, I am encouraged every single day when I see these kids here in this gym, because I see the future and I see them working hard. I see them being compassionate, caring for one another. I see them learning how to love and respect themselves, their parents, their teachers, and I see them growing and developing the skills that are going to lead us someplace beyond where we are stuck at right now. So I'm encouraged. That's what I would do.
All right, that's amazing. Let us be encouraged this evening. I'm just excited. This has been an amazing night. We had Dr. Viviana on, and she taught us about intimacy as well. And then I had these fabulous guys on from ABC, Everybody Can. And they're teaching us how to be intimate in a community way and how to succeed in a community way. And so I'm going to encourage everyone to rewind, watch Dr. Viviana again, go back and pick up the gems from these guys again. It's been an amazing night. Now, you know, I'm going to get a bit more juicy conversation with these fellas back behind stage. And if you have any questions that you'd like me to get to them, please go ahead and send them in. But it is time for us to go. Bye-bye for now.
You're winning. You're winning.